Alright guys, so I'm going to take you through a workout today. It's going to be basically just a bodyweight workout. So all you need is a pull-up bar and some gymnastics rings. You probably can just get away with some gymnastics rings if you've got a place to hang them, because you can just do ring rows, which is a scaling option instead of doing the strict pull-ups. I'm starting out with some Poliquin step-ups. Now, these are really good for if you've got any kind of knee issues. They're going to be great for getting those knees a lot stronger. They're also really good for if you play any kind of sport like basketball or football. We're basically going to try and isolate our VMO and our quad and really strengthen that muscle, as that's the muscle that really is involved in protecting the knee and making sure the knee doesn't take those forces. So before I go into them, I have just put up a bit of a full overview of the workout for you guys, where you can pause and take a screenshot of that if you want to follow along later. That explains all the reps and sets and everything. Now, for these step-ups, basically technique-wise, we want to elevate the heel. You can still push through the heel, but we're going to focus on pushing through the ball of your foot or just underneath your big toe. Now, we want the knee to come forward. Not so much that you feel any pain in your knee. In fact, I want you to go a much lower step if you do feel pain in your knee, but that is what is going to activate your VMO. So if you're not having your knee come forward, you're probably not going to feel it in your quad that much, and it's going to be more of a hip exercise. Now, with your off leg, just so you don't cheat, I want you to elevate your toe so only your heel touches the ground, and that makes sure that you can't push off and cheat with that non-working leg. Okay, so we're going to do 3 sets of 15 reps each leg, kind of rest as you need in between. Then we're going to go into part B, which is going to be weighted strict pull-ups. Now, you can just do regular strict pull-ups with these, but the tempo I want you to try and follow is basically explode up, almost like a little pause at the top of each rep, and then kind of control your way down, kind of 2 seconds, maybe a little bit slower if you're quite strong. Obviously, I'm just adding weight by holding a dumbbell between my legs. Now, technique-wise with these, you really want to make sure that you're keeping your shoulders back and down and really making sure you're activating your lats. Now, this is a ring row option that we can do as a scale if you don't have a pull-up bar but you have rings, or if you're just not strong enough to do a pull-up yet. I'd recommend doing these ring rows. And same kind of thing, just making sure you're activating your lats and keeping your shoulders back and down and holding at the top. So yeah, you'll see on this set that I'm really keeping my shoulders back and down and not letting them kind of hunch forward. So that's quite a common mistake for if you're not quite strong enough at the top of the movement. You'll see your kind of shoulders will kind of round forward, and that's going to make your shoulders and your chest do a lot more work than they should be. And that's where you can get some kind of shoulder injuries and things like that. So don't really worry about how high you go or how high or close your face gets to the bar. Just pull as high as you can, keeping your shoulders back and down, and really make sure you're feeling it in your lats. And as you get stronger, you'll get higher and higher, where you can even do a chest to bar if you needed to make it harder. Alright, so we've done all our pull-ups, resting kind of 2 to 3 minutes in between each set. Now we're moving into our little kind of circuit to finish off. So this is C1. We're doing a wall-facing strict handstand push-up. These are quite hard, but there's a few scaling options that you could try first, just to make sure you have the required strength to actually do this movement. I would suggest, basically, you can see in the next clip, I'm going to elevate my feet on a bench, and then what I'm going to do is just put my head almost in like a tripod position in front of my hands, creating that kind of triangle or tripod. And then I'm just pushing up, and this really gets your shoulders and your triceps quite a lot. Now, obviously, the higher you elevate your feet and the more you get your butt over your shoulders, the more you're going to feel it. You can also do these just if you have the flexibility. This is a bit of an easier scaling option just on flat ground. It's a bit harder if you elevate your feet. Now I'm just going to show you the elevated feet on a bench strict handstand push-up again, because I want to show you, see how on these reps I'm not getting my head through, so I'm just pushing up. That's a common mistake that you will probably do when you first try them, but you want to make sure that you're getting your head through at the top of the rep, just like that. Alright, so once we've done our wall facing strict handstand push-ups, or whatever scale that you want to do, we're going to then lower the rings and put your feet in them, and this is where we're going to do a hamstring curl. And basically we're going to do this in almost like a drop set, but it's going to be a mechanical drop set. So basically, instead of like in a traditional drop set where you're going to lower the weight and continue doing the movement, this one we're going to make it easier by doing less and less range of motion. So these are what's called reverse 21s. So we're going to do 7 full reps, which you just saw, and then I'm going to do 7 half reps. I'm probably even doing a little bit more than half, where you're going from basically the top of the rep to halfway and then back again. And then finally you're going to do 7 reps where your legs are going to be fully extended, and then you're only going to go to halfway. So the reverse 21 being 21 total reps of the 7-7-7. Now these really feel it in your hamstrings a lot, guys, so you might even have to break them up if you need to. So you could quite easily do like 5-5-5 or whatever you need to. Basically you want to pick the amount of reps that you can do, maybe one less. So say if you could only do 5 reps in a row, and then you're really thinking, I can probably only do 6, then you want to do your 5 full reps, and then obviously you start doing the mechanical drop set where you're shortening the range of motion, and then after you do those 5, then you're going to shorten the range of motion again to finish it off and really get that burn. I'll explain these ring push-up fallouts in the next clip when we come back around to it. So I might not have explained all the sets and reps very well in this video, but I was just trying to make it fairly quick and hopefully not too boring. I obviously wrote it in that screenshot, so you can always go back and just take a look and see what reps and that I did. And obviously you can scale that however you need. Alright, so we're coming back to the strict handstand push-ups. So if you can do these, they're really good to do wall facing. It really helps with your technique quite a lot. So we're trying to keep a nice hollow body position, meaning I'm squeezing my butt and my abs while I do these. And then I'm basically just looking for my head to go in front of my hands and create that tripod-like position. And then looking through towards the wall, finishing at the top of every rep. I think I did 8 to 10 of these. So I think the first set I did 8, and then this set I'm doing 9. And then the last set I think I'm going to try and do 10. So haven't done them for a while, so just working my way back into them. Alright, so this is the reverse 21 rep scheme with that drop set. So you'll see with these, probably the biggest point to make sure you feel it in your hamstrings is, see how I've got my hips, there's a straight line, my hips are up, and there's a straight line between my shoulders, my hips and my knees. You have to squeeze your butt and maintain that straight line if you really want to get it in your hamstrings. If you let your hips drop, you won't feel it as much. So that's the key with these. Alright, when we do the ring push-up fallouts, really want to make sure you scale these, because if you try and go too far with them, you'll just find that you're doing them wrong, and you probably think that they're harder, so it's working better, but really you're not isolating your abs anymore, and you're just doing it with other muscles. And the whole idea is we want to strengthen our abs by what's called anti-extension. So we're trying to stay in a hollow, kind of crunched, squeezing your abs on the whole time, and we're strengthening our core by resisting as we push out. The gravity is basically trying to pull us open or straighten out our body, and that's what really puts that pressure on your abs. It's a core exercise that quite often is missed in everyone's training programs because everyone's doing crunches or leg raises, which obviously is really good for strengthening your abs in flexion or getting them to contract, but you never work this kind of isometric and anti-extension exercise. So it's really key that you don't feel these in your shoulders. So if you have to do less range of motion, that's fine. Eventually, as you get better at them, you'll be able to go further and further, but really try and stay in that hollow, almost rounded shoulders at the top, and don't let that flatten out. If you feel it in your back or shoulders at all, you need to scale it more. Alright, so we're finishing up. This is our third set of the C1, C2, C3. So I hope you guys understood that. So yeah, you do all 3 sets of the Poliquin step-ups in a row, and then you do all 3 sets of the weighted pull-ups, or whatever pull-up you decide to do. And then the last 3 exercises we're doing in a bit of a circuit, where you're having smaller rests in between each exercise and then having a big rest at the end. So you see I probably had about, I don't put it in the video, but probably had about 30 seconds in between my handstand push-ups and getting to these hamstring curls. And then you'll see it's pretty much in real time, so I go pretty much straight from the hamstring curls straight into the push-up fall-outs. Don't need as much rest in between them. So yeah, I hope this video was really helpful for you guys. If you liked it, yeah, obviously please leave a comment and like the video. It really helps a lot. And let me know if this is something that you want me to do again, or if you have any other ideas for other videos. I'll be happy to, if we get something that's really requested, I'll make sure I make it a priority to do that video. Cool, thanks guys, appreciate it.